Hi there, you're here with Samantha Brown, and this evening I thought I would give you a quick how-to to create some content without actually having to create content on social media. So these are some quick hacks about how you can go about creating new posts, videos, pictures, whatever it might be, without having to really do that much work. So just looking at what you're already doing and using that to create some new content, basically, to put things out there. So the first one is to take the frequently asked questions that you get in your business. So perhaps people ask you, how to do a particular thing that's within your industry. If you're a yoga teacher, how to get into a certain pose, or what should I wear? Even better, what should I wear to my first yoga class? So take those frequently asked questions and create individual posts about each one of them. So if you're a yoga instructor and you've got your own yoga studio, then you could do a single post, which is a video or a text or whatever, on the clothes that you wear for your first class, or do I need to bring my own yoga mat? So always taking the frequently asked questions is a really great and very easy way to create content. And you're not really creating content because these are questions you get asked all the time. You're always answering them. So stop answering the same questions over and over and just create a social media post about it and direct people there. And what you're also doing, which is kind of a hidden benefit, is then if people have any questions and they're on the fence about coming to get involved, buy into your business, if you are answering those frequently asked questions through your videos, through your posts, then people can actually get themselves over the line without you having to do any work. So there's a hidden benefit there too. Which leads me on to the second one. So objections. What objections do you get in your business all the time? Every single time you get one for the next week. I know it's Thursday today, but so take it from tomorrow. Think of write down every single objection that you get over the course of the week, and then take each one of those objections, make it into a post. These are things that you're already answering, so you don't have to actually think of the answer. You already know what they are, and overcome those objections with a post. Now, I wouldn't suggest starting off with why is the price so high? Well, the price is so high because I would actually try and create a post that's overcomes the objection without actually having to state the objection, because you don't want to put things into people's minds. But when you give them the answer, people will then go, oh yeah, actually, you know what, I had been thinking about that, but now I feel better about it. I'm going to go ahead anyway. So objections are a really brilliant way of creating some content without having to create anything, because these things are already in your head. This is why I always say, talk about the stuff that you know about, talk about your business, talk about your life. So that leads me on to the next thing. So talk about some things that you're learning. So if you're like me and you're obsessed with listening to podcasts and audiobooks, then use those to, again, create some posts without having to come up with anything new. Just say that you've been listening to, so my example, today I've been listening to Get Abundance by Peter Diamandis, and that is all about how you can take the entire world and I guess effectively co-work with everybody and develop things that are even better and amazing, and that there is no scarcity in the world. There's everything that you want possibly is out there. So take that audiobook or that podcast or a training program you've been on or whatever it is, and talk about what you learn from that thing, and tell your audience, tell people that the things that you've learned, so that people can then see that you're actually learning all the time and growing and developing as a person. But it's an easy way of taking something that you're already doing and making it into a social media post. And also, so another hidden benefit of talking about the things that you learned is that where they say, and now I think this is very true, and some of the really big people say this, that until you actually start teaching the stuff, you never really understand the stuff. So Russell Brunson talks about this. This is a guy who developed ClickFunnels, who is a multi-millionaire. ClickFunnels is the largest and fastest growing software as a service software in the entire world. So they have just completely wiped the floor with all other SaaS providers. I think Salesforce is the only thing they haven't got. So Russell Brunson said that until he actually started teaching about the stuff that he does, there was this kind of gap to where he could get to in his income. But once he started teaching it, then he basically got to the next level and made a hell of a lot more money, which is part of the reason why we're all here. So start teaching, start learning, talk about what you're learning, but in doing so, what you're actually doing is teaching. So we've done frequently asked questions, objections that you might get, then the things that you're learning. So another thing would be to take personal stories from your life where they might apply to your audience. So I'll give you an example. I'm a single parent, and I was trying to do a Facebook Live earlier, and I've got my son with me. So one of the ways that I made sure that I could still do the Facebook Live. One of the ways that I do it is I'll do it when he's in bed asleep. So it's the evening time here in the UK at the moment. And my son's asleep, so therefore I can try and squeeze in a Facebook Live. Or this afternoon, I got him playing with some toys, and then I could then do a Facebook Live in another room, and we had a conversation first of all, and this is quite hard with a not quite 3-year-old, of Mummy's going to go and do a video, but can you stay playing over here? Mummy will be done in like 2 minutes, but you do this, and then I'm going to go do that. And actually, for a lot of my audience, I know that they're parents as well. Stacey is a person that I have had a conversation with about being a parent and being in business, and it's pretty tough. So actually, sharing personal stories then means your audience will relate to you more. And obviously the name of the game with social media, please in the title, social, is building connections. And actually you might find that when you talk about your stories, you might give some ideas to people about how they can cope with having children and running a business, or whatever it might be. I've got some friends who have disabilities, and they talk about how they how they've had to adapt the certain things that they do so that they can carry on still building their business. And for other people out there, that actually might provide some inspiration. So talk about personal stories, but make sure it's in a way that is interesting and relatable to other people. So frequently asked questions, overcoming objections, what I've learned, and personal stories. And then the last thing is, and I'm going to tailor this specifically, people talk a lot about newsjacking, so finding out what's happening on the news and then talking about that thing. So if someone's died, or if there has been an explosion somewhere, or other things. Now, I personally completely avoid the news. I don't watch it. I don't watch live television. I don't read the newspapers. It's quite annoying for me. There are big TVs in the changing rooms at my gym, and I've just come back from the gym. And I try and avoid listening to the news because it's all negative. Because way back when, psychology has decided that, and we do absolutely respond better, although I use that loosely, to negative news than we do to positive news. So negative headlines sell newspapers better than positive headlines. So therefore I try and avoid the news at all costs. However, and therefore I don't do newsjacking because I don't know the news. I don't even know what's going on in the world. But if there are big things happening in your industry, which you probably do know about, then you can talk about those things. So as an example, I watched Mark Zuckerberg give a live talk yesterday about the changes that are coming with Facebook and how they've uncovered at last all these things that have happened. And it's actually the first time I knew that there have been, Russian involvement in certain things. So I can now talk about the industry-specific things. So with social media, obviously anything that Mark Zuckerberg comes out with is very important to probably all of us, really, because it's Facebook, and that's how we can connect with the world. And there are over 1 billion daily users of Facebook, which is just mind-blowing. So take the industry news that you have and talk about those things. So like almost the moment that they come out, start talking about them, but talk about your perspective. So don't just repeat what other people have already been said, because, at the end of the day, people could go and read the Daily Mail or other very, very valuable newspapers. So try and find industry news that obviously you might want to know about, and give your opinion on it and your view and what you think is going to happen, what you think is going to happen from it. And so, those are the 5 things: frequently asked questions, overcoming objections, I've got to try and remember off the top of my head now. I did write these down. So yeah, overcoming objections, what you learned from something, personal stories where they will relate to your audience and maybe hopefully inspire your audience, and newsjacking industry news with your views and your opinions. And all of those things I have given you are things that you already know the answer to, you already know, you come across in your daily life, and they all will help grow your social media following, grow your business, because they're useful to people, but it's not by having to sit there and think up new things to do or think up specific things to talk about. So hopefully those 5 things should give you some ideas of what you can talk about without actually having to do anything, really. Just talk about the things that you already know and go and get yourself out there. And at the end of the day, no matter what you talk about, some people will see it and some people won't. I mean, this is from a Facebook page, and Facebook page reach has dropped, although not for live video, so do live video. And if you're talking about stuff that's useful to people, you could probably talk about the same topic over and over and over, and because only a small proportion of people are going to see your posts each time, you don't have to come up with tons of content, because some people are going to see it one time, some people are going to see it another time, and maybe the way that you say something one time, because of the moment that you're in your life, and your viewpoint on whatever the thing is, it will change each time. So actually, maybe even if you're talking about the same things over and over, I don't advise doing them back to back, but if you're maybe talking about 10 different things, you've come up with 5 frequently asked questions and 5 objections, and you just alternate kind of between them, the way that you say something at some particular time might resonate with people more that particular time than it has done in the past. So you can keep just talking about the same things, and it almost doesn't matter, because not everyone's going to see it. So don't worry about having to have tons of content and knowing what to talk about. Just start talking about the things that you already know about. Please start doing Facebook Lives, and if you found this useful, please give me some thumbs up and some love hearts. I like love hearts the most. And what I'm doing is, this came off the back of quite a heartfelt story that I gave a couple of days ago. I'm doing a 2 lives a day challenge, but I've said that anybody that needs to be held accountable for something, whether you want to get involved in a Facebook Live challenge or you just want to do something and you're really putting it off, but actually that if you put it out there publicly and you have someone badgering you each day, that that you'll go and do the thing. If you fancy coming and joining me and holding me accountable as well, because it's quite hard to do 2 live videos a day, I bet not as hard as you'd think, then type below, give me a little sign, just say you're in. I've had a few people say I'm in, and then I can badger you, and in doing so you remind myself that I need to be doing my Facebook Live videos, 2 of them a day. So if you want to come and join the challenge, then just comment below and let me know, and I will add you in and you can come and join the fun. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.